to the March 27th, 2024 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. I'm Candace Breyer, Chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals is a 9-person volunteer board nominated by the mayor and approved by City Council. First, we will hear from Planning Services, represented tonight by John Barrett. Then the applicant or their representative will make their presentation. Applicants will have 5 minutes in which to make their presentation. Staff will keep time and will announce when 30 seconds are remaining. Public comment is available in person or remotely. We will first call on individuals present to address the board, then remote participants. To speak during a public hearing or during public comment remotely, press *9 if listening by phone, or use the raise hand feature if viewing through the web link. For phone access, call 877-853-5247 and enter meeting ID 938-1648-1007. City staff will select callers that have raised their hand using the last 3 digits of your phone number or by name if available for those accessing through the web link. You will hear an automated announcement that the host is allowing you to speak. When speaking, please move to a quiet area and mute any television or background sounds. We may ask questions of either the city or the applicant. We will acknowledge any written comments received by the board. We will allow an appearing party to express their support or objections. The board will then discuss the appeal and formulate a motion to approve the appeal. 5 affirmative votes of the board will be required for an appeal to be granted. Finally, any qualified party who is aggrieved by a decision of the board can appeal that decision to the Washtenaw County Circuit Court on a timely basis. Roll call. Candace Breyer, I am here. Todd Grant. Dave DeVarty.
DeVarty here.
Chris Madigan.
Here.
Sadira Clark. Grace Whitney.
Here.
Mike Daniel. Dharma Ekman.
Here.
Christina Glusak. We have a quorum.
So before we go any further, I'll make an announcement.
Yeah.
So I'm John Barrett, zoning coordinator for the city of Ann Arbor. Unfortunately, tonight we have a couple people out due to illness and out of town on business. So we have a quorum. We have 5 members present, but that means you'll have to, in order to get a confirmed vote on your petition, you'll have to receive all 5 votes in the affirmative. You have the option to postpone to next month, which would be the April 24th meeting, if you choose to do so at that time, if you don't feel like you want to move forward with your petition due to the fact that you've got to get 5 out of 5. At this time, is there anyone who feels like they might want to postpone till next month?
Well, we can ask too when we get to them on the agenda.
Well,
Potentially may.
You could-
Proxy here for,
618 Stratford?
yeah,
Okay,
I'd like to call them.
sure, go ahead. And you can also let us know as your petition comes up too, so. All right, we'll move forward with the rest of the agenda.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Approval of the agenda. Do we have any questions, comments, changes to the agenda? If not, do I have a motion? Thank you, Grace.
Support.
Thank you, Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to minutes, we have minutes from the February 28th, 2024 ZBA meeting. Are there any questions or comments or corrections to those minutes? If not, do I have a motion to approve the February minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Grace. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Minutes are approved. Moving on to public hearings, we have first petition ZBA 24-0001, 1294 Jewett Avenue. John?
I'm John Barrett, zoning coordinator for the city of Ann Arbor. The first petition this evening is located at 1294 Jewett Avenue. Jeffrey Wines, the property owner, is seeking a variance of 63 square feet from Chapter 55, Table 5.17-1, Single-Family Residential Zoning Districts, Lot Area Minimum. The property is zoned R1B, Single-Family Residential, and is 19,937 square feet in area. Parcels in the R1B district require a minimum lot area of 10,000 square feet. The variance, if granted, will allow for approval of a land division and the creation of one 9,937 square foot parcel and one 10,000 square foot parcel. The subject property is located on the south side of Jewett Avenue, directly across the street from the Clonlara Private Day School. There is a one-bedroom, one-bath, 882-square-foot home on the property currently. The home was constructed in 1920. The owner has stated that the existing home will remain, and there are plans to construct a new primary residence in the back lot that will be created if the variance is granted. The existing detached garage will be demolished to accommodate the required 30-foot access easement to the newly created rear lot. If you'll turn your attention to the monitors, the first slide is the zoning and location map. You see the highlighted parcel in blue at the center of your screen. On the south side of Jewett, Packard Road to the east, and South Industrial Highway to the west. The next slide is the aerial map showing surrounding properties and current conditions. And the next slide is the zoomed-in aerial photo of the subject property and its current configuration. The next slide shows is the survey that was submitted with the application. You see its current configuration of 19,937 square feet and the garage and the house. And the next slide is the proposed land division survey. You can see that the garage will be demolished, allowing for the 30-foot access easement on the west side of the lot to access the back parcel, which is to be 10,000 square feet, and then the 63 square foot variance request for the front parcel. This is the concept that was submitted by the applicant of the proposed home to be built in the back. These are the photos that I took on my site inspection. You see the existing home on the left and the garage on the right. This is directly behind the existing house and the rest of the lot looking south. This is turning around, looking back out towards Jewett and the rear facades of the existing structures. This is just a photo of the property directly to the east, and you can see the relationship between the house and the next door lot and their garage. Looking directly to the west of the existing property and the new construction of a new home going in next door. And that concludes my presentation. I'll take any questions you have at this time.
Thank you, John. Any questions? John, was there any input from any of the other departments, like engineering, or I know there's minimum lot sizes that have been established for a reason, and I just want to make sure there's not something that we're missing, I guess, by allowing a lot to be smaller than.
No, I hadn't received any input from any other
Okay.
property or any other departments.
Any other questions for John?
Yes, I have a.
Go ahead, Dave.
So looking at the aerial map, it looks to me like there are already at least 3 parcels to the east that would also be non-conforming in terms of their square footage. Is that not correct? Or are those just the way they're configured, they're still 10,000 square feet there?
Which ones? To the west, you mean?
To the,
Looking at the slide, look at the slide or
Look at your screen.
the screen, your monitor?
Right or the left?
to the right.
These?
I think
So there's the one, two over from the green.
Yeah.
No, not that one.
These two.
The little short one. The one that doesn't go the entire depth.
This one right here?
That looks like that's not 10,000 square
Right.
feet.
Yep.
And then if you go all the way, there are those really 2 very thin, narrow lots.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if those even meet
No,
the.
there's an existing non-conforming lot surrounding that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
So it's, what I'm trying to wonder is if there is something that is slightly less than 10,000 square feet, if it would be a significant, something significantly different than everything else in the neighborhood. And it looks to me like there are already some lots there that are less than 10,000 square feet. And the structure's clearly built before the zoning code was what it was. They're essentially non-conforming lots to have a structure.
That's correct.
Yep, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Dharma.
Do you have any idea what the historical, like why these lots are so long and narrow? Like how that happened? I mean, it's pretty unusual just in terms of our city. I just wondered if you knew.
They were established probably 100 years ago, and the
Okay.
zoning ordinance didn't come into effect and enforced probably about mid-60s, 1965. So they were already established
Okay.
prior to
Thanks.
the ordinance.
Dave?
One further question. I did not, and I apologize, have time to do my usual drive-bys and actual on-site surveys, but my familiarity with this neighborhood, I remember lack of sidewalks on some of these streets. Is that, do you know what the situation, the sidewalk situation on Jewett is?
There were not sidewalks established when I was out there, and you can see that on this aerial photo.
Okay,
right
on
here.
that aerial photo, okay.
But you do see there
On this
is,
side of the street.
on the other side of the street there is, but on this side, you're right. And then you see there's a, probably about a 7 to 8 foot right-of-way right there
Right.
between the properties. So there could be one established in the future, but I just don't know if there's any plans with
So-
the engineering department to install those.
So if a sidewalk was required at some point, because we are trying to get sidewalks throughout the city, except it seems in some of the pricier neighborhoods, do the homeowners get assessed for those sidewalks, or does our sidewalk, our new sidewalk millage that we have pay for those sidewalk installations?
It would be part of a capital improvements funding, I believe.
Right, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any other questions? All right, if the petitioner is here, please come forward, sign in, state your name for the record. You'll have 5 minutes.
Jeff Lyons, and really don't have anything to add. I think John covered it all. Just want to thank you for your consideration. The only point is, there is a lot, I believe it's to the west, that is 9,600 square feet, so there is already some variation there. And also the lot directly next to mine is being split in half, so that also then kind of aligns with what our plans are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wines, if you would sign in, and
Oh, sure.
is there a sign-in sheet there?
There's one right here.
Sign in.
Yeah, sure.
Did you want to move forward this evening with the decision?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to make sure,
You-
there are typically 9 of us. You have to get all 5 of us to vote yes tonight.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
I have a question.
Yeah, Dave?
I'm not sure if you're aware, you did say that the lot next to you is being split similarly.
Yes.
Are they being split, but they have the lot size that they don't need a variance?
Right.
So
yes.
they can have two 10,000
Yes.
square foot parcels?
Right.
Where yours is just a little bit smaller and cannot do that?
Correct, yeah.
Both the parcels to the west had land divisions created, and they're going to have homes in the front and the back.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Both those 2 parcels to the west.
Thank you.
But it's, 63 square feet is what he's short, and
Right, I understand.
not even discernible to the eye.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this petition, if there's anyone in person, please come forward now. Anyone accessing remotely, please press *9 or use the raise hand function.
There are no callers.
Thank you, Courtney. With that, the public hearing is closed and we're in discussion.
There is a letter that was on my table
Oh, there might be. I've got too many papers here.
from Janice Sanders.
You're right. Yes, so we did receive a letter from Janice Sanders at 1308 Jewett Avenue. Looks like it's just listing some concerns regarding the proposed division.
Yes, I know, I read through it.
All right. Any discussion, comments? Dharma?
I think this is a pretty easy decision for me. voting no would essentially be forcing this to be an almost 20,000 square foot lot with one house on it, which is not the intent of the zoning category. So I don't see 63 feet. I don't think it's a big deal. And so I look forward to supporting this.
Dave?
I would agree with my fellow member of the Board of Appeals and note that this is a minimum request, which is one of our criteria as we consider these variances. They ask for minimal requests. Also, with houses, these other lots in that neighborhood having very similar land divisions, I see this totally in concert with what is happening in that neighborhood and not being out of character with it. So I will certainly vote to support this.
Grace?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I agree with Dave and Dharma. I feel like the shape of this lot and how skinny this neighborhood is laid out is very weird, first of all. So I feel in a way that could be viewed as a practical difficulty. And I agree that the similar divisions going on around there kind of demonstrate that this is the way that the neighborhood is going and the spirit of what is meant to be, kind of allowable in that area.
Chris?
I'm voting no. It meets none of our standards for approval. It enjoys use as it is. There's no reason to grant this and I do feel bad because I do think lot sizes should be smaller. But as they are, there's no practical difficulty as it is, right? The lot is conforming, there's a house on it. The reason to vote yes doesn't exist. No practical difficulty exists, and I feel obliged to vote no. So I'm going to do so. And I do feel bad that I'm the only vote, and I'm going to hold it up, but I feel if we hold other sites to our standards that we have to hold this one to it too. I agree that it is a minimal request, but that's only one of our standards, so I'm going to vote no because I think it fails to meet 4 of our 5 standards.
Dharma?
I think you could easily argue that substantial justice is being done. I mean, the intent of the zoning category is not 19,937 square feet, it's 10,000 square feet. So I just think there's a hardship. It doesn't really, upholding this doesn't really maintain, I don't think, the spirit of the zoning category. And I think you can make an argument that substantial justice will be done by granting this.
Any other discussion? We ready for a motion?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Thank you, Dave.
ZBA 24-0001, 1294 Jewett Avenue. In accordance with the established standards for approval, the ZBA, our Zoning Board of Appeals, hereby grants a 63 square foot variance from Chapter 55, lot area minimum of Table 5.17-1, single-family residential zoning districts. The variance applies to the forward-facing lot adjacent to Jewett Avenue. A variance of 63 square feet is required to complete a proposed land division.
For support? Thank you, Dharma. Dave?
DeVarty, yes.
Chris?
No.
Grace?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Dharma?
Yes.
The request is denied. Moving on to petition ZBA 24-0006, 618 Stratford Drive.
Just go ahead.
Can I say that?
Yes, you can come up.
Yeah, we'll like to wait for more members to be here.
Okay, so you want your request postponement,
Yeah.
and it will be on April 24th.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Since the petition was noticed, we will still have to open up the public hearing if there's anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this petition. So regarding petition ZBA 24-0006 at 618 Stratford Drive, if anyone here wishes to speak, please come forward. If there's anyone remotely, please press star 9 or use the raise hand function.
There are no callers.
Thank you, Courtney. I believe there was some correspondence that we received online regarding this petition, some written comments, but those will be forwarded to the next meeting so we can address those comments at that time. So with that, the public hearing is closed. Do we need to vote to postpone?
No, I don't think so, because there's petitioners requesting it, so.
Okay. All right, so with that, petition ZBA 24-006 is postponed, and we will move on to petition ZBA 24-0007, 2119 Devonshire Road. John?
Well, hold on. Bob, are you going to,
Welcome with Four Seasons if you don't know.
Bob, are you going to move forward with the app?
No, we're going to postpone.
You're going to postpone too?
Yeah,
Okay.
in my experience, I just think it's better to have more.
All right, so with that, we'll open the public hearing. If there's anyone here that wishes to speak on the Devonshire Road petition, please come forward. Anyone accessing remotely, please press star 9 or use the raise hand function. I should note, too, when the petitions come back at the next meeting, there will be another public hearing. So if anyone wants to speak, they can wait until the next time. That's totally okay.
There are no callers.
Thank you, Courtney. With that, the public hearing is closed, and this petition will be postponed to the next meeting in April.
April 24th.
All right. Petition ZBA
This may be a quick meeting.
24-0008, 909 Vaughn Street. John? Unless this petitioner,
Rob Fowler, is this you, Rob, tonight? Did you want to come forward? Did you want to move forward with the application tonight?
Just because my schedule is so tight to get this student house done, I'd like to move forward.
Okay, all right.
all right, take it away, John.
I should have went on spring break.
All right, this is 909 Vaughn Street. Rob Fowler, representing the property owner, is requesting relief from Section 5.32.2, non-conforming structure, to construct new dormers on the third floor attic space of the existing non-conforming rental building. The residence is an existing 4-bedroom unit. The proposed alteration will increase the building to 6 bedrooms with additional bedrooms in the basement and the attic space. The property is non-conforming for lot area and lot width. The third-story dormer additions will not encroach further into the required setbacks. The property is zoned R4C, multiple family dwelling district. The subject property is located near the intersection of Packard Street and Vaughn Street in the North Burns Park neighborhood. The home was built in 1912 and is approximately 1,174 square feet in size. The lot area is 2,482 square feet. The existing residence has 3 bedrooms on the second floor and 1 bedroom in the basement. The proposed renovation will reduce the bedrooms on the second floor to 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The basement will increase by 1 bedroom from a bedroom to 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and the attic will also have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The property has a narrow driveway in the side yard. There is no parking space in the back of the home, as the rear yard is only several feet in depth. If you'll turn your attention to the monitors, you'll see the location map and the highlighted parcel in the center in the blue, just to the east of Packard Street. Next slide shows existing conditions and surrounding properties. And the next slide is the zoomed-in aerial photo of the subject property. The next slide is the survey that was submitted with the application by the applicant. And the next slide shows the existing first floor and second floors. You can see the 3 bedrooms on the second floor. The first floor's got the dining room, living room, kitchen. The next slide shows the existing basement with the 1 bedroom and the existing attic. Next slides are the floor plans of the proposed renovation. And that's the first floor. And then the second floor shows, or the next slide shows the second floor and the basement. You see the second floor, both of them are going to have 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Or excuse me, the basement will have 1 bath. Nope, 2 baths. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. And then the third floor, the attic, the new attic space will have 2 bedrooms and 2 baths as well. These are the proposed new elevations, and you can see the new dormer additions onto the existing home. Different elevation views of the proposed dormers. And these are the existing elevations. And that's all I have at this time. I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thanks, John. Questions for John? Dave?
John, were you unable to do site photos?
You know, that's what, I don't know what happened to my photos. Give me 1 second. You guys we can let Rob talk, and then I'll look for these photos. I don't know what happened to them.
Well, they'd be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're right in the hardest student houses. A lot of them are duplexes and multifamily. So we're just trying to build up our density and get as much as we can get out of this house. The owner does have multiple properties in the area that he can offshoot parking if that becomes a concern. So we're just trying to kind of meet the amenities that a lot of these newer student houses are having, as far as where they're almost every bedroom's a suite, where they have a bathroom and upgraded fixtures. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Dave?
So I didn't look really closely at the floor plans, but I'm curious, are these will it be rented as 1 unit with 6 residents?
It'll be one,
or
it will
they
be,
be
no,
separate?
it'll be 1 6-unit residential home.
As opposed to, because it looked like you could almost break off a room and a bathroom and
I don't know if zoning would buy that, to be honest with you. I think, we're happy with, he has good luck finding 6 tenants to rent a house, and that's been a good way to go.
And is there no driveway parking now, or is there like space for?
I know there might be a little bit, but he owns houses behind it and on the other side, so it doesn't seem to be. And I think there's some street parking there too.
Well,
a license to hunt.
Any other questions for the applicant?
So I don't know what happened. I apologize. My photos got clipped off for some reason. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. But I have them up now. So you see the front elevation from Vaughn Street. And the next slide is looking down the driveway. You can see some of the adjacent property to the east and the properties to the rear. This is looking directly at the rear facade of the home. And then this is the property on the west side of the lot and the adjacent property. And that's what I have. I mean, it was literally, I'm standing right there. The lot is so shallow. You
have a lot of room to
You got a tree
work.
line, you got 3 feet, and you got the back of the house. There's no rear yard.
but I note in your photos, there is space for 2 cars to park in the driveway.
In the driveway, yes.
Yeah.
That's where it's currently at, right there.
All right. At this point, if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this petition, please come forward now, or if you're accessing remotely, please press *9 or use the raise hand feature.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please come forward to the microphone.
Does the addition of the upstairs apartment require some fire escape or any kind of escape other than through the home?
That'll be addressed when the applicant submits building permits, and the building department will require that.
But you don't decide that now?
No.
What about the basement easement? What is required
There
to
will be-
have a easement from the basement, because you're adding a bedroom?
There will be an egress window requirement, but that's building code. This is all for zoning. When the applicant submits building
this is-
permits, that'll be addressed by the state building code and the building officials.
It's a separate approval?
To sign in too.
Yes, it's a separate
It's a
approval.
separate approval?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
thank
we
you.
need him to sign in?
Yes.
Yes, can you please sign in?
If you would please sign in for the record.
Any other comments on this petition?
There are no callers.
Thank you, Courtney. With that, the public hearing is closed and we're in discussion. Grace?
Gosh. I just want to say again for the record that I feel like I've said many times when we have these, that I feel like these applications are very unnecessary to come to us for these expansions of a non-conforming structure, especially when there's not a change to the footprint. I feel like we almost always are approving them with minimal, comments. And just as someone who does like planning stuff for my day job, I just feel like it's such an unnecessary step for applicants, for homeowners and building developers to have to go through. So I just like to say that every time we get one of these. I'm sure John's tired of hearing it, and I needed.
I will address that right now. So there's going to be a text amendment that's in the process of moving forward. It probably will take a couple months at least. It's going to take a month or two to draft it, and then it's going to have to go to the ordinance review committee, and then ultimately planning commission and city council for consideration.
So I've said it.
But the wheels are in motion on that request from the zoning board of appeals.
Yay.
Dave?
I'll make a comment on the record. These approvals or alterations to a non-conforming structure are, the guidelines for us to grant approval are much less stringent and more forgiving than for a full variance. Although I've seen past zoning boards, and at times I've taken the view, even though I support generally increasing the density, sometimes I feel it's just inappropriate. The lot is too small, the parking provided is too inadequate, the demands on the neighborhood, what little parking might be in the neighborhood will have adverse effects on neighbors. So I have voted against these in the past, and I've seen many zoning boards composed of a membership much more conservative in terms of granting these approvals of alterations in the past, that currently the current board is very friendly to granting these, but that has not always been the case. And I would caution, unless there is a change in the zoning codes that takes us away from this zoning board, which we're all volunteers appointed by the mayor and approved by council, I would caution people bringing these in these narrow, when there's narrow tolerances on these votes, where one vote against it can deny it. I'm going to vote for this, but I do see negative impacts that adding density and adding demands on the public infrastructure that's there, the little bit of parking that's in that neighborhood. And I grew up on Dewey Street. I still live in the neighborhood and walk through it. I walk down the street at least half a dozen times a month on my way to Dominic's restaurant. And I'll vote for this, but it's a tenuous thing, and I could see myself voting against it. I really feel that I'm in a predicament here, being potentially the lone vote to deny this and to bring you back a month later and having to then go through your building department and wait for however many weeks it is for them to grant the building permits, because I've been in that situation. So I'm going to reluctantly vote for this. But, you know, there could be another person on this board that votes against it, and it'll be denied.
Any other discussion? You ready for a motion?
I can make a motion.
Thank you, Dave.
ZBA 24-0008, 909 Vaughan Street. Rob Fowler, representing the property owner, is requesting relief from Section 5.32.2, non-conforming structure to construct new dormers on the third-floor attic space of the existing non-conforming rental building. The residence is an existing 4-bedroom unit. The proposed alteration will increase the building to 6 bedrooms with additional bedrooms in the basement and the attic space. The property is non-conforming for lot area and lot width. The third-story dormer additions will not encroach any further into the required setbacks. The property is zoned R4C, multiple family dwelling district.
Support.
Thank you, Chris. Dharma?
Yes.
Dave?
DeVarty, yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
I also vote yes. The request is granted. Moving on to petition ZBA 24-0009, 1114 Judson Court. John?
All right, this is 1114 Judson Court. Rob Fowler, representing the property owner, is requesting relief from Section 5.32.2, nonconforming structure to construct a new third floor and new habitable living area in the basement of the existing nonconforming rental building. The residence is an existing 6-bedroom unit. The proposed alteration will increase the living space and bathrooms for each bedroom. The property is nonconforming for lot area and lot width. The new third story will not encroach further into the required setbacks. The property is zoned R4C, multiple family dwelling district. The subject property is located at the end of Judson Court, west of Church Street in the North Burns Park neighborhood. The home was built in 1910 and is approximately 1,086 square feet in size. The lot area is 1,742 square feet in area. The owner is proposing to square off the southeast corner of the basement foundation to allow for stair access to all floors. The newly proposed renovations will increase the bedroom living space, and each bedroom on the second and third floors will have a bathroom. The 2 basement bedrooms will share a bathroom. The newly created third floor is required to comply with the 30-foot maximum height limit. All construction must not encroach further into any of the required setbacks. If you'll turn your attention to the monitors, you'll see the first slide is the location map. You see the subject property highlighted in the middle of your screen on the south side of Judson Court. You see the next slide is the aerial map showing surrounding properties and existing conditions. And the next slide is the zoomed-in aerial photo of the subject property. And you can see how the structure basically takes up the entire envelope of the parcel. The next slide is the survey that was submitted with the application. And the next slides are showing the proposed new first floor and new second floor. You can see the first floor, the living room, dining room, kitchen, and then the next floor, the second floor, the bedrooms. And then the new third floor and the new basement and the bottom. This is the proposed elevations that were submitted with the application, the south and east elevations of the proposed new third story, and the north and west elevations. This is a slide showing all the existing elevations of the subject of the structure. Neat. These are the existing floor plans. These are the photos that I took on my inspection of the property. And that's the rear of the building, existing building. That concludes my presentation at this time, and I'll take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, John. Questions? All right, if the applicant's here, please come forward, state your name, sign in. You'll have 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Rob Fowler. I'm representing the owner of 1114 Judson Court. So the existing floor plan's misleading because it essentially shows, I think, 3 bedrooms on the first floor. And I know the front one has been converted back to a living room because there's no living room on the first floor. The kitchen's very small. There's about as much working room in the bathroom as the kitchen. So we just need to make this floor plan livable for 6 people. So we're going to take the first floor, make it all common living space, finish the basement, and then move up. Then I promise we'll put different colors on the exterior of the house.
Also wanted to point out, I mentioned it in the staff report, but you see the foundation and the new wall where that's being squared up on that slide right there, and then right here as well. And then all that's being put in there is the stairwell to access all 3 floors.
Correct.
Any questions for the petitioner? Dave?
Well, actually, a question for John, but then I'll ask this question for the petitioner. It looks like there might be a spot for 1 car.
That whole parking lot is owned by the same owner. So there's ample, I don't know if, John, if you can pull up the zoning picture or whatever, but so that whole gravel lot in the back is available for that house.
And then I'm noticing the trash bins. Where do the garbage trucks access the trash pickup and recycling?
I don't have an answer for that. I know a lot of times the maintenance guys roll them out to the street for the tenants.
Out to Church Street.
Yes.
I will say this is one of the most unique properties that I've been to because I drove by it 3 times, because if you see out here on the right side of the screen, it says Judson Court. There is no street sign, and it literally looks like a driveway. And I didn't know how to get to this property. I parked up here on the north side, I parked at these apartments, and I walked down through the parking lot and then took my photos because I didn't realize this driveway exists. I thought it was a private driveway, but it's Judson Court. It's very unique.
I actually went to dance parties in this house in the 1970s. And as a pedestrian, you know where the dance party is, and you're in college, it's easy to find it. And that might be a reason they need a bigger living room, is so they could actually have dance parties in this structure once again.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the, yeah, Grace?
I just want to make sure I was understanding, you're not changing the occupancy at all?
No, it's good. Our maximum allowed is 6 bedrooms.
And it's 6 right
And,
now?
I mean, right now, we really don't even, it's not a livable.
Okay, yeah.
Maximum
That makes-
occupancy is 6
Yeah.
unrelated tenants,
Yes.
not bedrooms.
Yep.
Yep.
Dave?
A question for staff. So as I'm looking at your, the talk about the foundation and this new stairwell, is that within the current footprint of the building, or does that actually extend outside the footprint?
It's within the footprint.
It's within the footprint, because you can see
The
what.
existing footprint of the building?
Yes.
So
Yep.
there's
It's-
no expansion at all of the footprint?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. If there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this petition, please come forward, or if you're accessing remotely, please press *9 or use the raise hand feature.
There are no callers.
Thank you, Courtney. With that, the public hearing is closed. We're in discussion. I'll note we did not receive any letters of support or objection to this petition, so. There's no discussion. We ready for a motion? Dave?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, I'm happy to make the motion.
All right.
ZBA 24-0009, 1114 Judson Court, alteration to a non-conforming structure. The Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants relief from Section 532.2, alteration to a non-conforming structure to allow construction of a new third story and new habitable living space in the basement. The new third story will not encroach further into the required setbacks. The alteration is to be built per the submitted plans.
Support.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Chris. Chris?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Dharma?
Yes.
Dave?
DeVarty, yes.
The request is granted.
Could I just make a kind of an addendum, a statement?
Yeah.
To the person that raised some questions, there are issues that the building department will consider in the administrative review, including the height of the basement and the egress windows and those sorts of things. And whatever building is done has to go through that site, through that building department review and meet codes. So I want to assure you that there will be further, although it's administrative, it won't come to a vote at a board like this unless the building department were to deny the building plans, then it could go to a further review. But it'll be an administrative review to make sure that any construction meets our current codes. I just wanted to make sure that the person that spoke
Sure.
at the meeting was aware of that.
Thank you, Dave. Moving on to petition ZBA 24-0010, 216 North State Street. I guess before we begin, does the petitioner
Yes,
wish to move forward?
Is Scott there?
No, I don't know.
Do you want me to make a motion to table it from his appearance? Would that be-
Wait, let me call him. Or at least text him.
There's no one here that's representing this petition, correct? Okay.
Mr. Clausen hasn't requested to come on yet?
We'll give him just another minute.
Yeah.
I don't show.
Dave is raising his hand.
Yes, Dave.
I'd like to, in the interest of time, move, if the chair, I'll ask for your indulgence, move that we have it, since this was publicized, we have a public hearing, and then I would move to table this to the next meeting to allow the petitioner to be here to make his case, his or her case.
I'll support.
All right.
He's got it.
All in favor of moving this to the next agenda? Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm one of the current tenants. So I'm not sure, like, if you're voting on this today, because,
I'm moving to table it, but we're still having a public hearing.
Yeah, so you
If
can
you'd like
still
to-
make your comments if you'd
If you'd like
like.
to speak.
But
you'll
we
be able
will
to.
do the actual discussion and voting next month, but you're still able to offer any comment now or next month.
okay. Can I offer comments right now also?
We need to finish this
Vote.
motion, and then we'll open up the public hearing.
Yes, so we have a motion to postpone this petition until the next available agenda when
Due to the applicant not being
the
present.
applicant is not present.
I support it.
We have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So with that, we'll open the public hearing for petition ZBA 24-0010, 216 North State Street. So if anyone wishes to speak on this petition, now's your chance. Please state your name for the record, sign in, you'll have 3 minutes.
I apologize for any confusion.
Oh, no worries.
So my name is Lisa Walsh, and I am one of the current tenants at 216 North State Street. And I just wanted to point out kind of just the change in this floor plan and how I don't think that this is a fair decision to both the current tenants, the neighborhood, and the future tenants. So what they're proposing to do is they currently have 7 one-bedroom apartments, and they are planning to change it to 3 6-bedroom apartments and then 1 4-bedroom apartments. So they're increasing the number of bedrooms from 7 to 22, just on this one unit. So it's significantly more than the other non-conforming plans that you discussed earlier. I don't, like, if you look at the individual plans, like, I don't think that it's like fair to anybody who would be moving in there in the future to have that little space. And I don't think that it would be okay for like the future of the neighborhood also, because in the Carytown neighborhood, it's like a historic neighborhood, and a lot of the apartments that are currently located in this apartment, like my building has like, it's a very historic building, like there's fireplaces, there's like French doors, and they're just going to knock all of that down just to create more space so that they can just make additional money off of like Ann Arbor students, which I really don't think is the right direction for this neighborhood to go into. And another thing that I wanted to point out is with regards to the parking situation. There already is very limited parking in the Carytown neighborhood. So they offer, my current tenant offers like a couple of different parking options for current tenants, but I don't think that they would be able to offer enough for 22 new residents. And there is the option to have street parking, but there's not nearly enough street parking in the neighborhood. So I just think, even though I know you've been accepting a lot of these new changes, I don't think that this is just correct for the neighborhood and the future of the tenants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you sign in also?
Yes, of course.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this petition, either in person or if accessing remotely, please press *9 or use the raise hand feature.
There are no callers.
All right, thank you, Courtney. With that, the public hearing is closed, and we will see this petition in the future. Moving on, we have no unfinished business. New business, reports from council. Dharma?
I don't have anything new this time.
All right, wow. Communications. We did receive some letters of support for petitions that were postponed, so we will address those when those petitions come back to us. Public comment. If there's anyone that wishes to make any comments, please come forward, state your name for the record, sign in. You'll have 3 minutes.
Yeah, Jeff Wines. I'd just like to, and John has some background on this, but my petition was delayed several months, so there was some urgency to go ahead and get this across the finish line. But given the outcome, I feel strongly that we should table this, given the overwhelming support from most of the board.
Or if we were second or third on the docket, we definitely would have made the choice to postpone. I guess this is our first time doing this, so we didn't fully understand the process and the outcome of making that decision in the moment. He had 2 seconds to make the decision of postponing or not. And we did postpone from January to February and then February to March. So we did have to postpone twice already.
So unfortunately, the case was heard and there was a decision rendered, but I can call you this week and we can go over some of your options that you may have.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
There are no callers.
All right, thank you, Courtney. Unless anyone has anything, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Chris. Support?
Support.
Thank you, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.